Hello and welcome to Chapter 2 of our Equity Walk and Talk on Diversifying the Teaching Field. My name is David Hinojosa and I am the Director of the IDRA Equity Assistance Center South, or as we call ourselves, the IDRA EAC-South. With me today is our Associate Director, Paula Johnson.
Hello everybody, and thank you for joining us. Today we will be talking with you about strategies that states can pursue to help build stronger pipelines and better support teachers of color. But these aren't just any old strategies. These strategies are grounded in research and in equity.
So you might be asking yourself, what does that mean? For one, that means they are not merely temporary fixes. These are strategies intending to encourage teachers of color to stay in the profession as a career opportunity.
This also means that the strategies are intended to uphold the tremendous value of teaching by engendering a more positive vibe around teaching. For a deeper dive into the research or the strategies, please take a look at our written literature review and strategies available on our website.
Thank you, Paula. Now let's get started. In Chapter 2, you will learn the following: a brief overview of the state of teachers of color across the nation and the South, challenges in the teacher pipeline for persons of color, the research underscoring the need for states to have stronger pipelines and pathways for teachers of color, discussion of specific equity-based state strategies that can lead to greater access and opportunity for a more racially diverse teaching profession, and how our Equity Assistance Center South may be able to assist you. The state of teachers of color across the nation and the South reflects marginal progress over the last 3 decades. In 1987-88, only 13% of all public school teachers were non-white, and in 2011, only 18% of all teachers were non-white. When we compare the student-teacher demographic diversity gaps over time, which is the difference between the percentage of students of color and the percentage of teachers of color, the gap has widened. In 1987, the diversity gap was approximately 18 percentage points, and by 2011, the gap reached 29%.
By clicking on our student-teacher demographic diversity map for the 11 states in our Equity Centers region, you can see your state's diversity gap, total number of teachers, percent of teachers of color, and the percent of students of color. In our separate chapter on data, we will explore the trends in this data and show viewers how they can compile and analyze similar data down to the school level.
We're now shifting to Objective 2, challenges in the teacher pipeline for persons of color. And yes, the challenges are many. They begin with the K-12 system because what happens in K-12 often matters what happens in college and in life.
That's right, David. Even in the 21st century, several states continue to struggle in providing equitable and adequate resources for schools enrolling higher percentages of children of color, as shown in this graphic of the funding gaps by the Education Trust.
And without equitable and adequate resources, many schools will continue to struggle to provide essential opportunities to learn, including quality, experienced, diverse teachers, all leading to fewer well-prepared graduates. This pattern is shown in this chart created by the Learning Policy Institute as part of our literature review. Look at how the pool of potential Black and Latina teachers begins to dwindle at high school graduation and continues through bachelor degrees conferred and education degrees.
Other challenges that disrupt the pipeline beyond high school include escalating higher ed costs, lack of financial support for higher ed, and low teacher salaries. These conditions especially impact persons of color. Inadequate alternative teacher preparation programs also tend to impact teachers of color, where in 2014-15, approximately 1 in 5 candidates of color enrolled in alternative certification programs, compared to about 1 in 10 of white candidates. While alternative certification programs vary in quality, many allow for little, if any, opportunities for student teaching. And what studies show is that teachers who enter the field with little preparation are 2 to 3 times more likely to leave their schools than those with comprehensive preparation.
Many states also rely largely on teacher licensure exams for teacher certification, despite evidence that such exams are not linked to teacher success in the classroom, and they tend to have a disparate impact on candidates of color. And once they start teaching, the challenges may continue with poor working conditions.
That's right, David. Research shows that punitive accountability pressures and a lack of resources and support can create problems with retaining teachers. And guess which schools are often under-resourced and overly sanctioned? You guessed it, those with the greatest numbers of students of color, who are often taught by teachers of color. In fact, while about 30% of all teachers moved from their schools involuntarily, over 50% of Black teachers moved involuntarily. So why is it important that the profession be open and diverse to all racial and ethnic groups? Well, let's see what the research says.
So growing research in the field shows tremendous benefits of having a diverse faculty. These benefits include higher expectations of students of color, improving student achievement, lowering absenteeism, and reducing suspensions for students of color. And while there is no negative effect on achievement for white students, the important role model effect impacts all students.
Racially diverse faculty can also help break down racial stereotypes and engender positive attitudes. And having a diverse faculty in schools brings cultural knowledge and capital that teachers can share with each other as they design programming and curricula. These benefits cross races and cultures and can benefit all students and teachers both inside and outside of schools.
So now let's talk about how states can engage in some key equity-based strategies to increase teacher diversity. As states attempt to address continuing teacher shortages across the country, it's important to understand the need to build in supports that create an attractive profession as a career rather than short-term fixes. The cost of teacher turnover can be significant, with some estimates ranging from $7.3 billion to $8.5 billion annually.
One strategy states may want to pursue is building high retention, supportive pathways into teaching. For example, states can design data systems that monitor the racial diversity of teacher preparation enrollees and completers. Some states do not collect demographic data on teachers, much less candidates. And without that data, states will be lacking critical information to monitor and adjust its pathways to ensure they are open for all candidates. States can also modify teacher licensure requirements to ensure candidates of color are not disparately impacted by arbitrary policies. Some states like California, Washington, and Connecticut are considering more holistic, authentic performance assessments to use in lieu of or in conjunction with traditional licensure standardized exams.
Excellent points, Paula. States can also fund intensive teacher preparation support programs such as providing interest-free loans or loan repayment programs, and establish teacher residencies which supplement and improve teachers' training to teach in high-need schools and high-demand subject areas. States can also strengthen alternative teacher certification programs. Such strategies may include requiring that those programs offer, at a minimum, high-quality, rigorous pre-service preparation, intensive mentoring, asset-based approaches to learning such as culturally relevant education and bias training, and professional learning community supports, including comprehensive induction through the early years of teaching.
States should also consider developing and supporting equity-based grow your own programs that recruit teacher candidates from non-traditional populations. By emphasizing equitable approaches with culturally relevant curriculum, states can not only make the programs more attractive to students of color, but they can also ensure that all teachers coming from those programs are better prepared to reach and teach all students. State support is essential, and several states, including South Carolina and North Carolina, have had successful programs.
The importance of having open pathways into teaching and a stronger pipeline for future educators cannot be overstated. Teacher quality and teacher diversity work hand in hand as part of a larger framework to create excellent schools for children. The benefits are plentiful on the social and academic learning side for all students, and all teachers benefit as well.
We hope you have enjoyed this chapter on state strategies for diversifying the field of teaching. Should you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please contact us by submitting an intake form, calling us, or sending us an email. Your regional IDRA EAC-South Center is here to serve you.